There we go. Hello, everyone. Taking my sweet time, apparently, setting up. I'm going to do some card pulls today. So, got a little bit of time. If you'd like a card, you can leave a comment. We have the Animal Speak deck again. We'll use these Angels of Abundance cards. Plant deck that I never remember what it's called. Oh, that's hilarious, actually. Ooh, how's everyone today? What's going on in your world? I'm just going to share this in the Telegram. There we go. And hopefully I'll be able to see. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so many things happening. How's everyone feeling? Like, I'm not sure if any of you have been noticing a lot of the like shadow work stuff coming up lately. Oh, I feel like I need my Thoth deck, but I'll see what happens as I get up. I got really distracted there for a moment. The shadow. Yeah, the shadow work. I've had a few people reaching out to me, just sharing a bit about like different heavy sort of emotions or thoughts that are coming in for them. And just that reminder that like with the shadow, the shadow is this aspect of ourselves that maybe we don't want to look at or we don't want to see. They could be like really heavy, intense emotions, certain thoughts, or maybe even our characteristics, like ways that we're showing up in the world. And oftentimes we look at those with like shame, or we don't want to acknowledge that they're a part of us. Oh, my throat is being weird. Drink some of this. And I kind of forgot that I was boiling that on the stove. I put like a ton of ginger in it, but so with the shadow, it's like this aspect of us that can kind of take the forefront, but we give it like so much power over us, and we try to like hide it and put it like aside, like, no, don't see it. When in actuality, it's important that we do look at it. And the reason we want to look at it is so that we can acknowledge what it is, recognize it, name it. And then from there, that's where we can start to accept that part of ourselves. And I think this is really fitting in terms of like the world situation right now. People on both camps, I guess I could say, like both sides of like the whole vaccine, not vaccine, or this thing, that thing, whatever. It's like we're noticing these shadow aspects. That's why it's like so in our like forefront, so much in our like our awareness. And it's easy to want to point and say like, no, that's bad, that's wrong, that like I would never do that, or whatever the case might be. But in actuality, the beautiful thing about the shadow or these sorts of characteristics showing up is that we get a chance to acknowledge that we too are those things. So, for instance, with like, I just always think of Trump. I remember when Trump being in power, right? And like all this hate and anger and things towards him for many people, like because of what he kind of represented. And it's like he very much represented that like shadow aspect of the masculine, I guess we could say, with some of the things that that he shared or said or did, whatever. And it can be really triggering for us because it's just like physical reminder in front of us to see that we can all be this way. Quaking aspen. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. I'm gonna have to go get my other deck. I don't know why, but I have the thought deck that's like calling me, so I'm gonna have to go get that here. But quaking aspen. I'll read from the book about it. It's kind of hard to see the image in this one. It's interesting because like the whole tree, the tree itself is like blending into the rest of the background, into the rest of the forest. What is that? Can't see the trees. Can't see the forest for the trees. I don't really understand that saying too much, but I think what this kind of means is like, you know, sometimes we're like trying to focus so much on like one aspect. Like, I guess we can say this with the shadow, like trying to focus so much on one piece that we forget about everything else. We forget about the interconnectedness even of our own life, of how we're showing up within that shadow, how, you know, maybe people are feeling a sense of discrimination or segregation from others. It's like, so then that anger comes up around it and the feeling of not being a part of a group or whatever the case may be. And there's anger then putting on like, why would someone want to segregate people and da 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 da. In actuality, it's like, well, we ourselves can be at fault or be in the position where we may segregate someone else. So we have to be so mindful of how we're like showing up within this shadow. So it says here about quaking aspen, which is part of the willow family. Aspen encounters deep fears that come from the unconscious. It helps us to ground, which brings a sense of security and connection. Aspen engenders a state of calm that helps us stand firm even in the face of fear. So I guess that's pretty fitting considering with the shadow, it will bring up some pretty intense emotions at times. And it brings up fear because we don't want to accept that that's a part of ourselves. We don't want to acknowledge that we can like restrict people's freedoms, or we ourselves can like be judgmental or discriminatory, or that we ourselves can like murder someone or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like all these really intense emotions. So I'm going to just go grab my other deck. Just, yeah, give me a moment. So I'm going to have to give me another moment because I have to make sure all the major arcana cards are in here and separated somewhat. I've been, it's like this, so some there, so from there. Using these for other stuff, other work, but I don't know why these cards are like calling. It's been a while since I think we've used these. So we'll just mix mash that up and then shuffle it. Yeah, I wonder what will come out about this. So again, that shadow aspect. Something I found really helpful, again, is just like sitting with the aspects of whatever might be arising. So like, for instance, I was having a lot of like shame and guilt this past week. And it was like some really heavy energy. And I don't even know how to explain it, but it was like so uncomfortable. It was like a really different level of uncomfortability that I was having with these like emotions or these thoughts. And it's like part of me wanted to go into it, and yet I felt like I was kind of blocked. And then another part of me felt like, yeah, like I was just so blocked that I wouldn't be able to even comprehend or dive into what was actually going on. And it was really uncomfortable. Anyway, so then I like went to do this this work, and I just laid in fetal position. Oh, someone's here. Oh, hi, Arby. Hello. And I think I already told you this last time, didn't I? I'm a Scorpio. And the energy that came was, if you want a card, you can let me know. If this shadow feeling was coming up, and it was like this shame and the guilt and everything, and I was okay, just like chill and ask that to show up and invite it for tea, like sit with it, and going back to that like concept of like the Buddha inviting Mara for tea. Mara being this like evil, demonic-y sort of energy that kept trying to create this discomfort and chaos in the world and Buddha's life and so forth. And yeah, it was really interesting because like guilt came first, and guilt was like just normal, like being sort of size. And then shame came, and like shame was a giant. I was like, whoa, like where are you even gonna sit, man? You're so tall. Oh, you look like you got a lot of package with you. I don't even know what that means, but not me. Maybe you told someone else. Yeah, maybe. Otherwise, I recognize your name. I mean, just don't let many people. And I remember Arby's. Anyways, let's pull a card for the shadow here. We got Quaking Aspen. And then we got the shadow aspect with the thought. So what's something that we need to know? Ooh. Prince of Wands. I wish I knew what that symbol was in the middle of his chest. I can't recall what it is. But this is the Prince of Wands. Oh, if it's going to adjust itself. Just like look at the power of this. Like, and I find it interesting that coming from the back, there's like this sort of dark space behind. Like it's red. So it's obviously got more fire, but for some reason I'm thinking of like a black hole, like coming from the place of like complete annihilation and darkness. There is something that can come forward within that space. A lot of potential of like creation, a lot of potential for like the new possibilities. So where am I looking here? That's the Phoenix wand of power and energy. I want to know what's that symbol on the chest. I feel like it's like something, but I can't remember what it's called. I'm gonna have to look that up at some point. There's something about that. Like I want to say alchemical, but also astrological related, like kind of like embracing all those aspects and utilizing it, which it's interesting. Sorry, I'm not even reading all these. I think the Scorpios are misunderstood. Yeah, probably. That's, I think, part of the sign. But it's interesting to just see how like the themes of astrology and that like kind of play out in illuminating aspects of the shadows. So something that I find really helpful is if I'm noticing certain energies or emotions coming up, I will like sit with it, try and engage in conversations with people who are closest to me, because it seems like it's usually some type of theme everyone's going through. And then if I really need some clarity, like, obviously you can go to cards, but you don't want to become too reliant on cards. And and the astrology, like where are the placements of the planets. You could look at your own like birth chart. Go see someone that you trust that's good at doing like birth chart readings and all that stuff. And just try to gauge a bit about like how it's aligning with that, because there, it's, again, we don't want to get caught up in cards or in like astrology and the placements of planets, but there is something powerful about seeing the themes within those spaces, and that can be really helpful for you based on your personal chart, right? You have a light about you, that light which women have when they become pregnant. Oh, well, hopefully not. Anyways, I don't really know why you're here messaging all that stuff. So I think we can all be adults. Okay, let's see. Let's just pull this, and then I'm going to pull one of these animal speak cards around this shadow thing. So you're going to allow yourself to transform through like the purification of fire, through that shifting of where you've been within the shadow, the darkness, because this is what's happening. We're being cleared, basically. Oh my God. What's this one? Oh, the Two of Wands. Dominion. You have dominion over it. Super intense, like, imagery with all these. You can see like I kind of see these as like whether they be Buddhist or like Hindu sort of like, I think it might be Buddhists, deities or beings that are like, it's like you have dominion, you have the power, that warrior sort of thing. I remember going once to like this Buddhist, was it Buddhist? Some meditation like sanctuary outside of the city. And I went there. It was like too cold. There was no one else there. No one answered the door. I think they're supposed to be like monks, but no one answered the door. And so I just kind of hung out outside, but they had all those giant statues, those like whatever, those types of statues. And they're kind of creepy. Like, I know they're supposed to represent different aspects, and again, that Mars, like those are just aspects of our shadow. But it's like, oh, I don't want to see it. Like, and I'm like, are they going to become real? Like, that's kind of creepy. So let's see, an animal card for the shadow aspect. Okay. 2 cards flipped over, which I'll just keep. The swan and the fire ant. Oh man, this is so interesting. Just seeing like the symbology and everything and the correlations between that. You got the black triangle, and we've got the white triangle, both reversed, place them on top of each other, masculine, feminine. The Merkaba is created, the Star of David, mirror reflections of each other. We got more fire with those fire ants deep in the ground. They know what they're doing. They go for it. Don't mess with them. And then we have the swan being the, okay, I'm sorry. I don't need to describe your energy in the space. Thank you. No, that was easy. Anyways, done. So just had to do what I had to do there because it's just annoying me right now. So we have the swan and we have the fire ants. So the swan energy, I'm going to like that story of the ugly duckling. It's like we have these aspects of ourselves that we are sometimes not wanting to, we can't recognize ourselves because it's like, well, we're not with the right people. We're not surrounded by people who actually build us up or whatever. And I think that's really important to highlight when we talk about shadow work, because sometimes people who are, what should I say? People who are, don't understand shadow work, or like the toxic positivity or whatever the case might be, they might really talk negatively about the shadow. And so then that guilt and that shame kind of comes up more for self, right? And so the ugly duckling in that story, it's like, if you don't know it, it's like these ducks that are born, and this one duck is like very large compared to the other ducks, and just looks so different. Has this like kind of like just chaotic look to it, and ends up being kicked out of the group and like made fun of by its siblings, and it just feels like, oh, I don't belong, and so forth. But then by the end of the story, like as this animal goes and wanders, it turns out it's not a duck, it's a swan. As it grows older, it's like turns into this beautiful, beautiful animal. And so its whole life, it was going around like with this shame or this guilt, and not feeling a sense of belonging, and like just really being hard on itself, until it blossomed into and recognized what it was becoming. So if we can clear transmutations coming up a lot. There's something about this, like, transmuting through, like almost like taking our self and putting it in that Merkaba, so that like vehicle, right? That vehicle, which is basically what like the chariot would be, and allowing ourselves to transmute, enter into new phases of our life, to enter new chapters, to understand ourselves in a different way. And yeah, that could be a fun exercise to use. That's all I'll say about that. So let's see this angel deck. Positivity, faith, and optimism. Oh, just reading messages. You open the doorway to positive experiences and opportunities with your positive expectations and energy. Do not allow negative energy or temporary setbacks to interfere with the path that you're on. Keep the faith and keep going. 222. 2222. So I think this is important as well. Didn't this card come up last time in the other reading? Maybe not. That basically, I just realized I deleted all this guy's messages. I didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to like get those messages stopped because it was irrelevant to the whole conversation. Obviously, you could tell I have no patience and time for a lot of BS right now. Learning really about boundary setting. It's been fun. So positivity, faith, and optimism. I think it's important to know that we can like be in these places of wanting to sit in shadow and understand ourselves, and try to clear the fears and stuff. That we can also still maintain a sense of positivity and optimism, and that it's important to like keep the faith around, what is it that we hope to bring into our lives. And, even when some of these negative sort of emotions are coming in, like I said, we don't want to be in the toxic positivity place where it's all like, yeah, just ignore it, ignore the bad, ignore the shadow. We want to make sure that we're balancing it all. And it is possible to maintain both of this sort of area of like work, and just, I say like take moment by moment, day by day. Sometimes it can feel like, oh, you just want to give up. It's too much. It's overwhelming, whatever. And then there'll be other times or days where it's like you just feel better, right? And the signs that you'll see, it's like just see those as the cycles again, and that you're clearing old pieces and bringing in new ones. And then there's going to be periods of like where we, whether you want to call it stagnation, but like the pause, right? Between these different energies. I really see it as like in our shamanic work, it'll be like this infinity loop you know, so you're going on one side and then it meets in the middle. It's almost that neutrality pause, and it goes on the opposite end and then it goes back, and it's like ever flowing between those. So I just want to pull one more of these plant cards. Yeah, lots of fire. Think about this as just purifying the current life. Yeah, it's interesting. The cards all have red, green, blue, and yellow. Huh. Red, green, blue, and yellow. And like orange, obviously, because so a lot of those, so well, blue too, like all these chakras pretty much actually from the throat down. Ooh. Purple loose strife. When I see this, I just see this sense of like all these connections to different people and places. Oh, hello, Marie. Oh, hello. Let me know if you want a card. Or 2 or 3 or 4, because apparently I have a lot. But anyways, purple loose strife. Yeah, when I see this, I just see the power and like the masses, the power of people each doing their own like shadow work, everybody standing in their individualness, yet it all looks like a collective energy, because we know that like we're doing the work, that person's doing the work, and so forth. Like everyone's doing what they want and what they need to. And there are different heights, different lengths of growth and experiences. Like these plants aren't judging each other like, oh, I'm the tallest or I'm this. Like, you know, I'm the most purple because it's purple though. Yeah, purple. It's like just embracing all those pieces. So that's kind of a nice way to end that. Oh yeah, Marie, sure. Okay, so let me just do this. Put these all back. We'll pull one of these and then one of those and maybe that one. Okay. So yeah, so I was talking about the shadow stuff, shadow work and all that heavy shadow stuff that seems to be coming up, but we're gonna pull one blue rose energy. We'll pull first from the cloth deck. Oh, I forget how big these cards are. It's like kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. We have adjustment and the tower. Okay, you're the tarot person, so you can. It says tarot in your name. So I'll show them to you so you can see them, and then we will talk about them. This is the 8th and the 16th. I'm trying to do math and count and all the things in my head. Which is kind of interesting. It's like they're both in between the two. 8 being the... Yeah. So 8th. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Sorry, just a minute. 16. Yeah, okay. Oh, I've never thought about putting the tarot card, like the major arcana cards around the medicine wheel, but for some reason that's coming in because it's interesting. This 8, this adjustment card, Goddess Justice, what we'd call like the Shinamiya, these balancers of all existence. They are operating out of that 8th position, which is the northwest position of the wheel, and highly connected to karmic stuff and the cycles as well of like just of the world and how things are operating. So I'm getting the sense like even if there's like this like tower moment, which the 16 would be the great teachers in the southeast. And those great teachers are all the things that like are happening in our life, you know, and they're like teaching us about patience and love and about accepting ourselves or accepting other types of behaviors of people. You know, again, we could go into like the shadow about around a lot of this. But it's like this reminder, I feel, Marie, that like even with all these things, that are coming to like this place of like ending. It's like within the learnings of the tower, I'm sure the tower crumbling, all that stuff, but it's like it's all being like divinely guided, and that this is like the justice is going to be there, but it's happening all for like a reason. If you do like akashic sorts of things, like that might be something to check into. But I just like the color difference. Like it's like the fiery red and the what seems like the darkness of that tower and all the chaos. Maybe it's worth calling on Goddess Justice too, to support with just cooling it with that like blue energy. It's like that healing energy. And maybe you feel like they're not seeing, or you're not being seen within all this. But like they don't need to physically see to know what's going on for you, if that makes sense. Ooh. Ooh. Wait, we just talked about kitty cats and things. This is kind of a creepy picture, but we got the panther. Holy shit, man. Look at that. That's fierce. Oh, you're writing things. I'm feeling the karmic endings. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah. So there's something. So this panther, that's like super intense energy. Like nothing's going to mess with that. I'm going to look at the book. Sometimes you just got to go with. I keep wanting to say Black Panther too. I don't know why. Like, I just keep thinking of like the Black Panther movie. I don't know if you've seen that movie. Maybe it's like something worth watching for some reason. I feel like I've seen it. Is it like there's all the people and they live in like they're in Africa sort of, but it's like another timeline of Africa, or I don't even know. I'm completely making this shit up. But there's like that warrior energy to all that. So like, don't give up with your sense of fighting and your confidence, I guess I could say, with the panther. Like you're very much it's going to help you to ground too. It's going to help you to ground, to be present. So you could like even like let like that, like, again, like I very much like do the things in the body that can help it, like roaring or growling and all that when there's certain experiences of emotions. But it says here, the panther, it's representing annihilation of the unnecessary purging. Okay, the tower. The panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnate. Instead, it pounces into our life and causes all kinds of havoc with the ultimate intention of bringing us towards more fulfilling lives. It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels devastating. But after all the dust clears, it's easy to see the panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. Trust that the panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. So it says here, if you're feeling out of balance, maybe you're noticing self-destruction, and to bring it back into balance, you can get rid of the unnecessary, which if it's not like it's happening, like it's going to happen because of the tower. But if there's something that you can, it's like we can kind of like speed up the process, I guess, by letting things go. So, yeah. I don't know. I looked at the camera to like look at you. It's funny. My cat jumped up next to me when you pulled the panther card. Oh, interesting. Oh, the kitty cat knows. Oh, yeah, your cat. Okay, wait. We're not done. We're not done, by the way. Let's do this Angel Abundance card. Sorry. Ooh, successful funding. Your idea is divinely guided and supported by the same infinite wisdom of God that gave you the idea. Do not allow money concerns to prevent you from turning it into reality. Crowdfunding, partnerships, and other investments are available to help you. So, yeah. So I'm telling people this, like, I've had conversations with folks lately, and, they're like, yeah, I want this thing, but money. And I'm like, okay, well, so if money wasn't an option, what would you do? They're like, well, I would do it. Well, then fucking do it. Like, I don't even know how many times I can tell you, like, this situation has come up and I'm like, oh, and then this part of me is like, be the responsible, like, thing. I'm not talking about like tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Like, obviously, the more money, maybe you need to really organize and think and give it the time, right? But like, if you know what you need to do and what you want to do, trust that it's going to be provided for. Like, yeah, your idea is divinely guided and supported by the same infinite wisdom of God that gave you the idea. Oh my gosh. Orange hawkweed. So, yeah, allow yourself to blossom. Connect with those dreams. I'm saying that because the hawk is my dreamer animal, and that's what it's reminding me of. And know that you're bringing things to life. Like, it's interesting. All these little, like, stamens, is that what they're called? The pistil stamens? I can't remember my biology around that. They look like DNA. Like, there's like all these things being birthed and growing, and opportunities coming through. So just trust that it's going to continue to shine and you're going to be able to reap the benefits of it. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. You're welcome. Yay. Yeah, that Panther card, like, that's intense. I can't, like, Black Panther, I mean, they probably win in the end, right? Because it's like every movie, I guess, the good people win. But I can't remember what the card said now. Shaking things up. But, you know, it's like, don't they go through like all this war and turmoil or whatever in order to like win and have these changes of like, I can't remember the movie. I'm just making this up. I don't know if he like becomes king or if he was the king or something. Yeah, anyways, that's all I can say about that. So thanks all for watching. Even the person, RB, wherever you are, I apparently deleted all your messages, but that was unnecessary to be posting all that. And if you're going to be on people's channels or things, not that I'm telling you what to do, but just acknowledge that certain behaviors have certain outcomes of actions. And those are dependent on each individual. And I'm personally setting boundaries for my spaces, especially around the masculine. So yeah, no hard feelings with that. But apparently I deleted all the messages and I put you in timeout for 300 seconds. Oh, shit. 300 seconds. What's that up? What's up with that? But yeah, feel free to subscribe. We'll do more readings and videos, but I hope everyone has a great day.